have a different reaction?
When I look at it now, it's just like wow, like I can't believe that actually happened. Like, it's just really like took a toll on me. Like I just like wow.
How did you react, Mom?
When I saw it, I was really hurt, and I didn't know if it was altered either. So it really bothered me, really, because I really care about her and my son.
And you had violence in your own life, right? Which we'll move to later, because that could have probably led to some of this. Are you okay? I mean, you had it pretty rough, right, Chris, growing up?
For the most part, like my mom and my dad, like my actual biological father, they took care of me good. But I mean, as far as like growing up in domestic violence situations, as far as with my mom's like ex-husband and stuff like that, like it used to be times I used to be scared to go to bed because I'd be like, well, I don't know.
This was a husband or a boyfriend?
This was her boyfriend and husband at the time. So it was just like.
So you saw a lot of violence?
It depends. I didn't like. I would hear it. I didn't really see it all the time. Like it might have been one or two occasions. I was like 7, 8. But yeah, very scared. Sometimes like I just didn't want to even come to the house because it was like that crazy for me.
You feel? Do you see any guilt at all, Joyce? Like, do you say to yourself, maybe I should have left?
Yeah, and I did leave eventually because of him.
But that's a common thing, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, they talk about
when you grow up with it.
Violence. I've handled these cases or these types of cases for years, and you tend to see it's almost surprising. I mean, in some cases, I've represented 3 generations of people who've been charged with this crime.
By the way, Joyce, I'm not a counselor, but it's not your fault.
No. This has been especially tough on Joyce, and I think one of the things that's been really hard for Chris has been the toll that it's taken on his mom and on Rihanna. I mean, it's the 2 women that he loves most in his life.
Have you spoken to Rihanna, Joyce?
Yes, I have.
Are you okay with her, 2 of you? Now, let's go back. You're driving home from a pre-Grammy party with Rihanna, right? You're dating at the time?
Yes.
You're in love, she loves you?
Yes.
What happened?
Well, Larry, I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to speak on what actually happened that night, just out of respect for Rihanna and myself, and I respect our privacy more, and I don't want to just go into that.
Oh, can you tell us from a point of view what happened? I mean, what caused this? You don't have to be specific, but can you tell me what? I mean, had you done this before?
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to really talk about what went on, like, or what. I feel like I owe it to her not to talk about that.
Mark?
Well, one of the things that's interesting about Chris is when I first met him, he wanted to take responsibility immediately. I mean, he did not want to deny this, and that's not usual in my line of work. I mean, usually, you can have a client who they've got a videotape of the guy running out of the house and with the weapon in his hands, and he's denying it the whole time. Chris was completely different in that. I mean, he came in, he was forthright, he felt guilty, he felt a great deal of remorse. He wanted to reach out, he wanted to apologize, and frankly, it was the fact that I told him, no, you can't, until let me work this through for you, and we'll deal with it, and there will come a time when you can talk about it. And I'll go back to what I said before. I mean, he felt absolutely awful and kept saying, I want to talk to Rihanna, I want to apologize, I want to get help, I don't want this to happen ever again, and I want to make it up to my mom. I mean, you can see from Joyce's reaction today, it's still kind of an open sore.
Was drinking involved?
No, I don't want to discuss what was going on or what was done that night.
Well, you leave us in a weird position here. The affidavit says that you tried to force her, identify the report as Robin F., try to force her out of the car. I mean, you must have some memories of the night. This could help people who might be in the same kind of position.
Yeah, but I feel like as far as like for her privacy, and I respect her enough and respect her privacy as well as mine, not to let people know or not to let people know what went on and what went down.
Why do you think you were violent?
I don't want to go into that.
But what do you think, without telling me what she said, you said, I understand, that's your privacy, you don't have to say it. What do you think caused you to be violent? When you have to think about it, we all think about ourselves. Why did I lose my temper? Why did I get angry over this?
I mean, that's relationships, I wouldn't say it's okay. I think just in relationships in general, there's chances where you lose your temper or like arguments get heated or whatever the case may be. But I just think I'm not saying domestic violence is a part of a relationship. I feel like that just we're young. We're both young, so nobody taught us how to love one another. Nobody taught us a book on how to control our emotions or our anger. So it's like I'm not trying to fall on the fact that I'm young. I'm just saying it's just that it's a lot of stuff that I wish I could have changed that night.
It's one of the reasons too. I think that the judge has ordered the counseling, and one of the reasons that it's a requirement that it be 1 year in California and in a lot of other states. It's a complex issue. It's something that, there's learned reactions, there's impulse control, there's all kinds of things that go into it. And one of the things that I think that the judge and the DA wanted was that you get into counseling, that you grapple with these issues, and you learn it, and you go through it and try and figure it out for yourself. I don't think that, he's done a lot of introspection, but I don't think he or anybody else ever gets to a point where you say, okay, now I understand completely. I think you have to go through the process.
You may never understand.
You may never understand. There's people who've been in therapy on issues like this for, decades.
We'll ask about charges being pressed and like after. We're back with Chris Brown, his mother, Joyce Hawkins, his attorney, Mark Garagos. All right. Some of the things, when you hear about all the things that the police and the reports say you did, how do you react to that?
I don't. I just look at it and like, wow, like I'm in shock because, first of all, that's not who I am as a person, and that's not who I pride myself on being. So I just, when I look at like the police reports or I hear about the police reports, I don't know what to think. I just don't know what to think. It's just like, wow.
You remember doing it?
No.
Don't remember doing it?
I don't. It's like, it's crazy to me. Like I'm like, wow.
What did he say to you, Joyce, when this happened, the first time you spoke to your son?
He came and he actually spoke to me about what happened, and I was totally shocked, totally upset about the whole situation, because I know that Chris has never, ever been a violent person, ever. Throughout the entire time, even through high school or anything, I've never been called or
never.
Different. Never.
Weren't there some previous charges with Rihanna? Weren't there some altercations in the past?
There were no charges ever.
No charges, no.
No. So when you look at this, do you feel like you're looking at someone else?
Yeah, from the outside looking in. When you see on TV, when they saying this, when they saying that.
You punched her a number of times.
Yeah.
You threatened to beat the blank out of her. When you got home, also said you warned you were going to kill her. You bit on the ear and thing, and I hear all that. Yeah. Obviously, this is always the disparagement here. You have a lawyer for you. You don't appear like a violent person at all.
No.
In fact, you appear rather calm, rather nice. So what happened to you, do you think?
Well, Larry, I just say, I guess that night is just one of those nights I wish I could just take back, and I really regret, and I feel totally ashamed of what I did.
It never happened to you before?
No.
How did Rihanna react to all of this?
I don't know.
What did she say to you?
Well, we talked briefly after, but but I don't want to really go in. I don't want to, like I said before, because of her personal and my personal, I don't want to say what conversation we had on the phone, but we just basically tried to work it out.
Did it matter whether she pressed charges or not?
No, in California it really doesn't. There are exceptions. It's not like they can